Not sure why, but I am.
We're rolling.
Oh, good. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. It's where we blend spirituality and practicality to help you live a life of purpose and joy. We got a whole bunch of people waiting on the YouTube live stream. If you want to join us there, join us at Ask Julie Ryan on YouTube. We've got Samantha over there that's going to help people. If you have a question, please put your first name, where you're located, and your question in the chat, and we'll be taking questions from there. And then if you're coming in on the AskJulieRyanShow.com and you're on camera, also, just Chris is over there. He's handling that. And you guys know, I never know who's calling. I never know what their questions are. And I never know what spirit's going to be. So it's always fun to see who they put up for me. Remember to subscribe. Remember to leave a comment about what you think about the show, either wherever you listen to podcasts. We're on all the networks and on YouTube as well, because then you are entered into a drawing for a free session with me and also a free class with me. And we give away one of each every month. Also, if you have a question, be sure and go to AskJulieRyan.com and you'll see a button that just says Ask Julie. You can put your question in there because I answer questions every week there. And it's a really good way to get your question in, and I choose one each week. And be sure and subscribe over there at AskJulieRyan.com to my blog, because they're wonderful questions and wonderful answers that, if I say so myself, that come in from spirit. So subscribe wherever you listen to the show. Go to AskJulieRyan.com. Subscribe to the blog there. There's more questions answered over there. And remember to ring the bell on the YouTube and on the podcast so you'll be notified when we send out a new show. All right, Chris, I'm ready. Enough public service ads here. All right. Hi, Julie. This is Diana from Hopewell, PA. Hi, Diana. Would you be willing to scan my 13-year-old Pomeranian pup, of course, who has CHF? I'm assuming that's congestive heart failure and Cushing's, and do a healing if possible. She's still lively, but I worry about her. Absolutely, Diana. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, how this works is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, because we're all spirits attached to a body having a human experience. And when we're attached to a body, we vibrate more slowly simply because the body has mass. Excuse me. So here we go. I raise my vibrational level. Here it comes. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, Diana. It's coming up to you in PA. Got you going from you to your baby girl. All right, got her. Shooting energy from her feet up through the top of her head. Her spirit's out of her body, honey. I am so sorry to tell you this. Doesn't mean she's going to die anytime soon, but in an animal or a human, when the entity is dying, the spirit leaves the body through the top of the head and it hangs on, kind of looks like a speech bubble in a cartoon where the character's thoughts or words are housed. And so Diana, your puppy's spirit's out of her body, which means I'm not able to scan her, because the spirit is kind of like the power source for the body. And it would be the equivalent of me trying to look at an X-ray in a pitch black room without any electricity. But we can talk to her and see what she has to say. So, are you ready to go? No, not yet, is what she's saying. Are you in pain? She's saying, yes, she is at times. She's in pain. She's saying it's not constant, it's intermittent, is the word that I heard. And then, what do you need? More time with my mom. So she wants more time with you. How will your mom know when it's your time to go? I'll let her know. Do you want to be euthanized when it's your time? She's saying she'll let you know. She hasn't decided. So I'm sure that's not what you expected to hear, but as you know, Diane, I don't edit anything I get. I'm the messenger from spirit. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some information that can help. Thanks for your question. It's so hard. And, even with our pets, with anyone we love, whether it's a human or a pet, it's so hard. But this information can normally help us because it's guidance for us to make decisions on things. Like if we have a loved one who's dying and they're in one of the 12 phases of transition, that's what my book, Angelic Attendance, is about. What happens as we transition from this life into the next. And if you want a free copy, just go to julieryangift.com and we'll send a free digital and or audiobook version. And it's in Spanish too. So those of you that are listening in Spanish, we've got both digital and audio versions for you for free. So it has graphics in it that show what the different phases look like. And it'll give you lots of information. And when people are going through the phases of transition or when pets are, it helps give us information that lets us know when we need to bring people in who want to be with them at the end. Because oftentimes families travel and they're taking time off work and all of that. So if you want a free copy, just go to julieryangift.com and we will send you one. Okay, Chris, who's next? Hi, Maureen.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, girl?
I'm good. I'm here with my sister. I don't want to move it too much. I'll bring
Hi,
her into
sister.
picture in a
Hi,
minute.
sissy.
And we're calling in for my sister. She has stage 4. It started out as tongue cancer,
Oh
and it
boy.
has metastasized to her lung.
Okay.
They do not know the cause. She has no risk factors. And she did chemo and radiation, and it didn't seem, we didn't get the outcome we wanted. So she started on an investigational drug,
Okay.
which consists of TCAR cells getting infused and also cetuximab. And that has shown success. We are seeing a 50% decrease in her tumors. So
Good
we're hopeful.
girl.
Yes, and we would like to see if you could do a medical scan and
Sure.
energetic healing on her, please.
Yeah. Yeah. What's her
Okay,
name?
should I move? Her name is Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen. And where
Hi.
are you guys?
We're in right outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay. And who's older?
I am. She's my younger
Ah,
sister.
so she's been probably talking for you your whole life, right,
Yeah.
Kathleen? And she's
Oh,
still doing
I'm
it now.
sorry. It's hard for her to talk because she had 70% of her tongue removed. Sorry.
I know, I
And
figured that, but I was just teasing her
yeah.
and saying, "You've been talking to her probably your whole life
I
anyways," so I
have.
figured she could shake her head, yes and no, right?
Yeah,
So,
she
she's
can.
still talking for you, right, girl? Okay,
Yeah.
alright. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna connect into you, Kathleen, and then we'll do a healing on you. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up to you in Philly. And everybody listening and watching, whether you're doing it right now as we're doing this healing or whether it's 5 years from now, time doesn't exist in the spirit world. Time's a human creation. So we're all going to send a healing to you, Kathleen. And everybody that's listening and watching, including you, Maureen, I want you guys to envision what I describe because we're all going to be sending that healing to Kathleen. And then, Kathleen, your spirit will integrate the healing as it chooses, right? Nobody ever heals anybody else. We all heal ourselves. No doctor, no shaman, no medical provider, no healer like me. We send the healing to you, and then your spirit integrates the healing based on what it wants to explore and experience in this life. And the one thing I want you to remember is that everything is healable. Everything is healable. And I have seen amazing miracles over the years by doing these healings, tens of thousands of them, literally. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up to you in Philly. All right, got you. Shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. We're going to do the full cancer healing. So imagine there's a big vertical oval tube that's inside your body, but it's on the front side of your body. And imagine that all of your lymph fluid has gone in there and it's spinning. And imagine that there are two holes, one on the bottom of each of your feet. And as that lymph fluid, which is an amber color and it's kind of globby, have you ever seen a lava lamp?
Yeah.
It's what the fluid looks like in a lava lamp. So the toxins are coming out the bottom of your feet, out of your lymph fluid. And so that's spinning. We're going to layer these healings on top of one another. So they're all going to be happening concurrently. And so next, there's this big metal dome that's come down on top of your body. And these are analogies for the healing that's happening to give us a human frame of reference for this woo-woo healing that we're doing, this energy healing. So the dome has come down on top of your body. As it lifts off, it's pulling out all of your lymph nodes that have sequestered toxins. And lymph nodes, Kathleen, look like little D3 vitamin capsules. And when they've sequestered toxins, they can look brown or black inside of them. It can be a dot, it can be the whole thing looks brown or black. And they're all being extracted out the top of your head. So the lymph fluid toxins are coming out the bottom of your feet, and the lymph nodes that need to be extracted are coming out the top of your head. So your whole body is involved in this healing. And now you're being sprinkled with stem cell energy, which is a light amber colored gel, has sparkles in it because it's woo-woo. Gotta have sparkles. And it reminds me of this hair gel when I was a kid called Dippity Doo in the 60s and 70s. And so you're being sprinkled with that. And now there are vortices that are spinning above your head, beneath your feet, on either side, front and behind, all spinning concurrently. And that's going to regenerate new lymph nodes in your system. Next, what we're doing is a heavy metal detox. So imagine two big U-shaped magnets, and they're joined in the middle and they go around your whole body. And they're going up and down your body and they're pulling out metallic particulates. Those can look like a sparkly piece of glitter or a dull piece of glitter. They can also look like a strand of steel wool out of a steel wool scrubbing pad used in the kitchen, to scrub pots and pans. And as those magnets are going up and down your body, pulling out those particulates, they turn a quarter of a turn till they make a full rotation all the way around your body. So they turn a quarter of a turn and go up and down, another quarter of a turn up and down. All right, they just popped off. Now, any kind of metallic dust that's left over is being irrigated out the bottom of your feet in those holes that have opened up. So that's happening. Now we're going to do a DNA healing. DNA, of course, is the recipe that tells the cells how to behave. And it's comprised of 4 nucleic acids. They're represented by 4 letters, A, T, C, G. One strand can have 100,000 letters on it, can have up to 1 billion letters on it. The strands look like a piece of paper you'd see inside a fortune cookie with the fortune written on it, if you can imagine that. So you have 10 strands of DNA that have come out of an X chromosome. Because remember, girls have 2 X's and boys have an X and a Y. I'm taking you back to your 5th grade science lessons here. This is a review. I had to re-educate myself on this stuff when it first started showing up because I'm like, I know it's DNA, but I don't remember about it. So I had to, re-educate myself. So got that going. Those letters are getting resequenced back to a normal recipe. When somebody has cancer, it mutates the DNA and the cells replicate in ways that we don't want them to. So it's going back to a normal recipe right now. Once that strand's reconfigured, it snaps back in. So we have 5 of them done. We got 5 more to go. And it goes really fast. It's like, have you ever played Scrabble, the word game, where you move the letters up and over and around to form a word? That's what this is like, but it's just in warp speed. Okay, 2 more strands. All right, 1 more strand. All right, that one's in. So we've got that going. I would, suggest schedule an appointment either with me or with one of my graduates. I have 5 graduates that do appointments too on everything, not just medical, but the whole buffet of psychicness. You know, you can talk to a deceased loved one, we can do your pet, all the stuff we do on this show. And, I'd really like either for one of them or for me to do a full deep dive with you on this. We've done the preliminary stuff, but you can usually get in to see my graduates within a week or less, and they're way less expensive than I am, and they're fabulous, every one of them. So, I would highly recommend that you schedule an appointment and let's do a full hour of, working with you to get you all well and get you healed. The good news is you're not dying, girl. Your spirit's in your body, and,
Excellent.
yeah, so that's good. That's like the most important thing right now. You're not dying at the moment. For those of you that are watching, her big sister Maureen just gave her a hug. So, yeah, if your spirit was out of your body, I wouldn't be able to scan you and do those healings on you because it's like I said, with the Pomeranian, it's like I'm looking in a dark room without any electricity, and I'm unable to see inside somebody or some animal's body. So, yeah, yeah, I think for the most part, you look healthy for everything that you've done, but we can stay 5 steps ahead of the mutations with the DNA healing, and also we've got some other things that we can work on and find out what really the origin of this is and take care of that as well. Okay. Alrighty.
That's not
You
thank
are
you,
so
Julie.
welcome. You're welcome, ladies. Thanks for joining us. Hope you feel better, Kathleen.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Maureen. Maureen, you're
Thank
a
you.
sweet big sister. She's a sweet
Thank
big
you.
sister. Yeah, you bet. All right. If you want to have a conversation with me, join me at askjulieryanshow.com. If you're joining us on the YouTube live stream, come in at Ask Julie Ryan. Samantha's over there and she's helping people. Just put your first name and where you're located and your question in the chat. And we'll be taking some more questions from over there as well. So let's see who's next. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
How are you, girl?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thanks. Where are you?
I'm sorry, I forgot to write that. I'm in Old Hickory, Tennessee, outside of
Oh,
Nashville.
yeah, yeah. I know where that is. I used to live in Nashville. Everything's Old Hickory there. God, one of the main streets that like goes on for forever is Old Hickory. But I know you're what, north of the city of Nashville, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Great. How may I help you?
So I've been having ringing in my ears, and
Mhm.
I'm just wondering what is the cause and what can I do to stop it?
How long's it been going on?
It's hard to say, but I'm gonna take a guess at like more than 2 to 3 years.
Okay. All right. All right, let me get you on my radar, and I'm gonna look inside your ear at your ears. Spirit gives me divine downloads even before I get you on my radar, and I'm hearing go to your left ear first. So I will do that. Do you notice that there's a difference between your left and your right ear?
Yes, absolutely. My left is worse.
Your left. Okay. That's what I'm hearing from spirit. And when I say I'm hearing, Laura, what that means is I'm getting information downloaded into my head. So it's a thought in my head, and I'll say, okay, I'm hearing this, and that's spirit communicating to me. It feels like a thought in my head. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up I-65 north, not too far, about 3 hours and got you shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. Do you remember having an ear infection when you were little or at some point in your life? You've got a perforated eardrum that happened at some point in your life.
Oh, you know what? I do remember.
Okay. All right. So imagine that the eardrum looks like the membrane on the top of a pair of bongo drums. And imagine that you've got a scar in the middle of that eardrum, and the scar is not flat. It didn't heal flat. So the reverberation is getting messed up, probably involving um, congestion and things like that in your ear. So we'll roto-rooter out your eustachian tube here in a second. But what I'm watching happen, Laura, is I'm watching the eardrum itself, that area where that scar was, I'm watching it get excised. I'm watching it get cut out. And then there's a backing on the back of your eardrum, and stem cell energy is getting placed where the part was that was just cut out. Light amber colored gel, sparkles, dippity doo. And there's a vortex spinning outside of your ear. So what we're doing is we're regenerating your eardrum so that it's all smooth and flat. Make sense so far? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we've got that going. And now what we're watching is we're watching that membrane get pulled in different directions. So imagine there's a face of a round clock on top of your eardrum, and it just got pulled in the 1 o'clock position, and then the 7 o'clock position, and the 11 o'clock position, and the opposite, the 5 o'clock position, and then on the sides. And then I watch musical notes energy and sound wave energy bounce off your eardrum, and then it gets pulled a little bit more. So it's getting fine tuned. Similar to a pair of bongo drums, the tone of the drums is going to be predicated on how tightly that membrane on the top is pulled, right? So you can
Huh.
have, multiple drums in a row, and each one's going to have its own unique sound. And so that's what I watch happen. So I'm watching that. Then there's a corkscrew that's spinning in your eustachian tube, and it's cleaning out any kind of congestion that's in there. It just kind of looks like fog in there. And so imagine that this corkscrew, as it spins, it just whips up the fog and removes it out of your ear. So you may feel like air coming into your throat or something when that's going on. I've had several people say that they felt that when that's happening. All right, let me look at your right ear and see if it's left ear. This is your left ear. It's causing it. Your right ear looks fine to me. So, a couple of things you can do on your end to help with this. Acupuncture has been very effective for tinnitus. Also,
Okay.
ginkgo biloba extract has helped a lot of people, and also progesterone, the sex hormone progesterone. Are you on hormones?
No.
Okay. You may wanna look into that because it's been very effective with many of my clients, and also there's research that supports it. So,
Okay.
I would try one or all of those different modalities and see if any of them help, because the healing's already happened on the energetic level. Now it'll just integrate into your body.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You bet. Bye, Laura.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty, AskJulieRyanShow.com if you wanna have a conversation with me. If you're coming in and joining us on the YouTube live stream, we're at Ask Julie Ryan. Put your first name and where you're located and your question in the comments, and we'll be taking questions from there. Remember to subscribe. Remember to leave a comment so you're entered into the drawings. And remember to go to AskJulieRyan.com and sign up for my blog, because you can always submit a question there. But the questions that we choose are always really interesting. And so is Spirit's Answer. And I do one of those every Thursday. And then plus you get a reminder in your email. Hey, if you got a question, call into the show tonight, and here's the call-in information and all of that. So it makes it easy. All righty, let's see who's next. Sandra. Hi, Sandra from Kansas. This is a touchy subject, but could I have a healing for my painful hemorrhoids? Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm a 51-year-old teacher trying to enjoy summer break. Oh, I bet. You probably just got out of school. Thank you. Love your show. Oh, you sweet thing. Okay. Yep. Here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading out to you in Kansas. All right. Got you. Okay. Going in. what we're doing is I watched this laser beam, and I've done this a lot. So, this healing when I say it's spirit working through me and with me to help you heal yourself. Because remember, nobody heals anybody else. We all heal ourselves. And so what I'm watching is I'm watching this little laser, and what it's doing is it's lasering the hemorrhoid both on the surface, and you've got some that are like, so they're underground, for lack of a better word. So we're watching the laser happen, and it's cutting off the blood supply. So what the laser does is it cauterizes it, so it stops the blood supply coming into the hemorrhoid to make it flare up. And, I understand those are really uncomfortable. I'm so sorry. So there's that. The other thing that I'm being led to tell you is there's a product, and I use it every day. It's called Brain Octane Oil. Brain Octane Oil, you can get it on Amazon. It's by a company called Bulletproof. My buddy Dave Asprey came up with it, and then he sold the company, but Bulletproof still sells it. And it's a highly refined coconut oil, Sandra, and it's going to help things move smoothly there. So it's not going to be painful. And also it's the number one thing that's kept me off sugar for 6 years because it provides ketones, and the brain works either on ketones or on glucose. And when I was giving up sugar 6 years ago, my buddy Dave said, "Oh, you got to use this brain octane oil stuff." And I'm telling you, it's miraculous. It's just amazing. So that will help you too. And you're going to completely heal from this. If you need to go have that procedure done at the doctor's office, do it. It will be swift, easy, and you're gonna be really glad that you had it done, but I don't think you're gonna need it from what I'm seeing and what I watched in the healing. I think your body's gonna take care of it on its own and integrate the healing in. But get some of that brain octane oil too. Comes in capsules, comes in a liquid form, and, it's gonna help as well. So, thanks, Sandra. Hope you feel better. Enjoy your summer break. Thanks for teaching the kids. Alrighty, AskJulieRyanShow.com. We're at Ask Julie Ryan on the YouTube live stream. And we're taking questions from both places. So let's see who Chris has lined up next. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
How are ya?
I'm okay. Actually, I see my friend Lynn on here, but she does not
Okay.
have her hand raised. So I
Okay.
want to ask her, I want to do a healing if we can, through her, but I want to know if she wants a healing for Cammie. I want her
Okay.
to
Well,
shake her head.
do you have
Yeah.
a question?
Yes.
Okay,
Actually,
let's take the
yeah,
question and then we'll let
yeah.
Chris handle everybody else. Where are you
Okay. Well,
located?
I asked her to come on so she could get a healing from you if possible. But
Okay.
okay, so we've
Where
been
are
friends
you?
for a long time.
Where are you?
Okay, I'm in Delaware.
Okay.
She's in Delaware,
And her name's
but
Cammie?
her granddaughter is Cammie.
Okay.
Her granddaughter was in a horrific head-on car accident 1 year
Oh, no.
ago today.
Okay.
And she doesn't remember any details about the car accident.
Mhm.
So what we wanted to ask if you could possibly give us any information about it, like what happened, and if you could do a healing for Kimmy because she's just had so many issues. Um,
Oh,
so
how
and just
old's
any
Cammie?
information that you could give. Oh,
How old is she?
I don't know how old she is.
Was she driving or was she a passenger? Is she little? Is she a teenager?
She was driving.
She was driving. Okay. So at least 16.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At least.
Okay. And and she has been dealing with concussion symptoms since?
I believe so.
Okay. And did she go to the hospital during the
Yeah.
accident?
They took her to shock trauma.
Mhm.
And I just think she's been having from what I've heard, just a really hard time since then, just because
Mhm.
with her memory, not being able to remember any details, and there was just a lot of things that happened. And if there's just any information that you could give, just to give some peace of mind, some healing for her,
Mhm.
this would just be wonderful.
What I'm gonna do
I know
tonight,
it'll help.
since I limit it to 1 question per person, I'm gonna go ahead and do a healing on her because that's more important at this point. But what I would
Okay,
suggest is schedule an appointment either with me or one of my graduates, and we can get all those details about what
okay.
happened. We can do
Well,
instant replays and do that, but let's do a healing on her because that's more
uh,
important than the
I
details
appreciate it.
right
Thank
now.
you.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, where is Cami?
Cami lives in Delaware.
She's in Delaware too. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna hook into you, and then I'm gonna go from you to Cami, and I'm gonna
O-
ask her permission if I can scan her. And if she says
Okay,
yes, I will. If she says no, I won't. You know
that's right.
this because it's an ethical thing with me, but we can still talk to her spirit and see what
Okay,
we can get done for her. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home Alabama, heading to you. Got you. All right, going from you to Cami. Cami, I'm talking to your grandmother's friend Cheryl. Is it all right if I scan you energetically? She said, "Yeah, I hope it helps." So,
oh,
good
thank God.
job setting that
Okay,
up if
yay.
somebody
Yeah.
set it up. All right, so got that. Shooting energy from her feet up through the top of her head. The hologram that's her in my mind's eye, Cheryl's been turned around to the back, so I'm going in to the back. She's got a bunch of scar tissue in her brain. The, brain matter looks to me like thick cooked oatmeal. And scar tissue in the brain looks like chicken cartilage, the kind you'd see in a chicken breast with the bone in. And
Mhm.
so what I'm watching is I'm watching the scar tissue get scooped out, and it leaves a divot in the oatmeal like brain matter. And that's where the stem cell energy is going in to fill those divots. Light amber color gel sparkles dippity do, vortex above each area. Each area gets its own vortex, and that's regenerating brain matter. When we see a lot of scar tissue in the brain, Cheryl, what's happening is it can occlude neural pathways. And neural pathways look like laser beams that crisscross a room that are part of a museum or a home or a building security system. You know, where you got those laser beams shooting across the room. You may have seen that in
Right.
a movie with somebody trying to steal something from a museum and they're jumping over the laser beams or rolling under them or whatever. So, as we regenerate new brain matter, what's happening is those neural pathways will come back online. She's got a lot of it, so it looks like it was obviously it was a bad accident because she has no memory of it. And so we've got that going on. All right, okay, brain matters, regenerated laser beams are all set up. It's really important to help her heal her brain for her to take a bunch of omega-3s. So, the brain octane oil I was talking about, purified, burpless fish oil, and do an internet search on healing concussions. Again, my buddy Dave Asprey, if you just do an internet search, Dave Asprey concussion healing, the whole protocol's there of what to
Okay.
do. But it's really important to help heal a concussion, and it can even be years later they can be healed. It's really important to
Okay.
give the brain lots of omega-3s to help it heal. And then schedule an appointment with one of my graduates or me, for Cami, or have Cami do it, or her grandmother, your friend, and then, we can do a deep dive with her and see what else we can
Okay.
do to help her heal. So you're sweet
Well,
to call in for her.
oh my gosh, I know this means so much to her and her family. So thank you so much, Julie.
You
So
are most
I'll
welcome.
I'll I'll join next week so maybe I can get back in for myself or
Okay.
but I know that's important to them. So thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Cheryl.
Bye-bye.
Bye. AskJulieRyanShow.com. Ask Julie Ryan on the YouTube live stream. Put your first name and where you're located and your question, and we will get a bunch of those answered. Remember to subscribe. Remember to leave a comment. Then you're automatically entered into the drawings for our free session with me and
Thank you.
also for a free class. So let's see who's next. Hi, Trina. Trina taking my medical intuitive class. Fabulous. Last week, girl. Next Monday, it'll be so funny or so funny, so fun. It'll be funny too. And for those of you that want to take the medical intuition class, just go to askjulieryan.com, go to the training page, and you'll see it there. So our last live session is next week, but it's recorded and you can take it anytime. You can take it 5 years from now if you want. And again, since time doesn't exist in the spirit world, time's a human creation, the same vibration, the same energy is sent to you, whether you're taking it live or whether you're taking it in the future. So Trina has a deviated septum. Is it possible to fix that energetically? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So where are you, girl? You didn't tell me where you are. I'll find you, but it's always fun to see where you are. So put it in the chat so Samantha can let us know, please. So here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading out to you. All right, got you. Shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. It looks to me like your septum curves. So there's like a curve on the right side of your septum. So what I'm watching happen is I'm watching almost like a splint that is getting put on. Stem cell energy is filling in that curve. There's a vortex spinning outside of your nose, and that's regenerating a straight septum. And then what I'm watching is, those little, when you go to the nail salon and they've got those little Dremels that have sandpaper on them and they spin and they take your nail polish off with that. That's what I'm watching happen on the left side of your septum and on the right side. So it's making it a normal size so that it's going to be equal on both sides of your nose. So I hope that helps. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you on Monday. All righty, let's see who's next. That was a fun one. I don't know that I've ever had that question before or seen that healing. So that was fun. Plastic surgeons and ENTs always fix that. Hi, Sheridan.
I'll see you Monday too.
Hot dog. I love it. Wonderful. Please tell everybody where you're located.
I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area in East Bay, Castro Valley.
East Bay. All right. You got a question for me?
Yes. I would love for you to connect with a young man who passed away on Monday.
No.
Um,
What's his name, Sheridan?
his name is Carson.
Carson. And how old was Carson?
He turned 16 on the 16th.
Oh, heavens. Okay. All right. What happened? Was he sick?
I
Yeah.
met Carson in Washington State in 2022 when we were both in cancer treatment.
Oh, my. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I've been friends with his family and followed him since. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, he left us on Monday.
I'm so sorry for you and for his family. You look wonderful, though. When you came on the screen, for those of you that are watching, she looks like a ballerina. She's gorgeous and she's got her hair up in a ballerina hairdo. And I thought, my God, she looks like a ballerina. So, okay. So what would you like Carson's right next to you on your right.
I
And
would
they come right in. Do you have something you want to say to him?
No, I want him to, is there anything for his family? What would he like his family to know?
They were heroes, he's saying. They, when we talk to spirit, it's been my experience, Sheridan, that it's like priming a pump for a water well at a farm. You got to pump it a few times to get the water to flow. Same thing with the energy. So when we say a few things to him, then they usually always get chatty. But he's saying that he wants his family to know that they were his heroes in how they went out of their way to take care of him and be with him and show him love, and that there's nothing that they could have done differently that would have changed things. It was all perfect, is what he's saying. Now, that's going to be hard for them to swallow while they're grieving because, we all second guess ourselves. What if we would have done this? What if we could have done that better? What if? And he's saying the what ifs are irrelevant because everything unfolded perfectly. And he's saying that they told him that he was being heroic, but he said, but it was them who were being heroic because he knows the pain and anguish that they went through when he was going through all this treatment and everything. He's saying that the suffering that he see what I told you, they get chatty once we get them going. He's saying that the suffering, physical suffering that he went through during his treatment was mild compared to the emotional suffering that he knew that they were going through, his family. And he's saying that he was never afraid of what was going to happen when he transitioned, when he passed. He was saying he was never afraid. And he's saying it was more glorious than what do you say? He said something like, it's more glorious than one can imagine glorious being. That's verbatim from him when he transitioned. My book, Angelic Attendants, what happens, send them a copy
I'm
of
gonna
it, send them the free link, julieryangift.com. You can also get it off my Ask Julie Ryan website. Send that to them, have them send it to everybody in their circle, family members, friends. It will give them a lot of comfort about what went on. Yeah,
Yeah,
as
I
he
was gonna
transitioned.
actually also refer them to Helping Parents Heal.
Yes,
Um,
that's a
I know
wonderful
that you're
organization.
involved in yeah. So, can you tell me, did he say, has he appeared to them? Has he shown up at all to them in a way that they might recognize or know?
He's saying yes, he's around them all the time. He's saying he's showing me and he's laughing because he showed me what he looked like, and then he said, "Kinda like Casper the Friendly Ghost," like the TV, cartoon when we were kids, and he's saying that he appeared in his parents' bedroom and it looked like a fog in the room, and
Mhm.
And so he's talking about his mother thought it was her imagination. Has she told you that she felt like she saw that?
No, I haven't talked to her yet, one to one. I just have sent a message because it's so fresh and so new.
Yeah.
Um, but she did say that um all three of them, his mom, his dad, and his sister, as they were traveling home, they each saw a symbol, and said that they felt that it was definitely him. So I just wondered if that was correct and if he would actually name that, if
Yeah. Well, we
if
can we
that's
can ask him in particular, yeah, what those symbols were. Let's do that in a session, schedule an appointment with one of my graduates or me. But he's telling me his symbol to his mom, his sign to his mom is he appeared like Casper the Friendly Ghost, without the white sheet, but just like in that shape. And he's saying he flew across the room and he looked like fog. And his mom saw it for an instant and then she thought, oh, I'm losing my mind. But that was really his spirit that he was showing her. So the other thing too about these, Sheridan, is when they tell us a sign or they show us how they're appearing to loved ones, it can happen, whether if even if they missed it, that means that he's going to do it again, most likely, and to be aware of it.
Mhm.
So, be on the lookout for that. I don't know that I've ever had anybody tell me that that's how they appeared before, and I've talked to thousands of spirits in my time, but I think that's really cute. Casper the Friendly Ghost, you know, who was pure joy. And so there's lots of information there for us. He's in pure joy, he's pure bliss. Everything unfolded perfectly, and he thinks of them as his heroes. So I hope send them the link to this show and they can listen to it themselves.
I will. I will
Okay,
do
my
that.
ballerina. My ballerina, you look great. Keep up the good work.
I'll see you Monday. Thank
Okay,
you.
honey.
So
Thanks. Bye. Oh, God, how fun is that? You know, they use these analogies, spirits do, to number one, lighten the load, you know, when somebody's grieving, to be talking about a fun cartoon that many of us watched growing up. And heck, they probably still have reruns of Casper the Friendly Ghost. And you can't think of that without smiling. And I find that spirits will do that a lot. They will come in with things that are joyful sounding, or they make people smile because they don't want them to be sad, because they're joyful and everything's amazing in heaven. So, oh, sweet for sharing. We got all these sweet people calling in tonight, helping their loved ones and friends. Always a treat. Okay, let's see who's next. Connie. Hi, Connie from Wisconsin. Can you see what past life would possibly be affecting me in this life? Well, they all are. I have depression, low self esteem, and abandonment issues. Love watching and listening to you. Oh, I'm so honored. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Yeah. So they all are. So we'll figure out what the one is that correlates the most. All of our past lives affect our current lives, and we all live bazillions of past lives. I mean, like thousands and thousands and thousands of them. Because remember, time doesn't exist in the spirit world, time's a human creation. So, 100-year lifetime to us seems like a long time, but it may not even be a blip on the radar screen in spirit time. So, how I do this, Connie, is I envision myself in this endless hallway. The hallway's narrow, the ceiling's very tall. On the walls are these 12-inch by 12-inch square mirrors lined up perfectly in columns, both vertically and horizontally. Each mirror represents a different lifetime. So as I look down the hallway, this endless hallway, the mirrors that are really far out look like dots on the horizon, and there are some I can't even see from my vantage point. So I'm in the Connie Akashic Records is what I think is going on. I didn't know that when this first came in, but now after talking to some Akashic Records experts, I think that's exactly what we're accessing. So we're asking a question. Does Connie have any past lives that are contributing to her depression issues in this lifetime? And the mirrors that correlate with that question come out from the wall as if they're on a hydraulic arm. There's a bunch of them that have come out. All right. So now we're taking a step further. Show us the one that correlates the most. That one comes out the farthest. It's down on the right. I see myself going down to it's kind of midway up this wall. So I watch myself walk into the mirror. It's like I'm walking into the scene of a movie. 1914, I get, is the year. Poland, Warsaw. Okay. 1914. I don't remember when the First World War was, but certainly I think it was about that time. Um, or it was in the making. All right, has something to do with war. You were a man. You were working in a munitions plant. All right. And it was not great. Um, it wasn't a great working environment. So I'm watching that hot, sweaty metal, like a big furnace, like lots of furnaces, if there's a metal manufacturing facility, especially back then, even now, there's lots of furnaces, lots of heat, dirt, that kind of stuff. So you're doing that and you just feel like slave labor because they're paying you just hardly, pennies on the dollar, kind of an equivalent, but you're being expected to work there. So how does that correlate with what's going on in Connie's current life? I get that you've been in jobs and situations that you didn't want to be in, but you felt that you didn't have a choice and you weren't paid what you felt that you deserved. And the work environment was not great. So there's always a semblance of a script from past lives that is materializing in this lifetime. And it's to help us have a different frame of reference for what we're exploring and experiencing in these multiple lifetimes, kind of like a script. And you're looking at it from a different perspective. Same basic, not good work environment, not getting paid for, what you're worth, and kind of like feel like slave labor kind of a thing. So, yeah, by illuminating it, it gives us information and lets us know when we're feeling that we have the power to change in this lifetime, with all of our advantages. So, if you're in a work environment that you don't like, go find another one because you have the capability and the power to do that. I hope that helps, Connie. Thanks for your question. All righty. Let's see who's next. Hi, Azure.
Hi, Julie Ryan. Thank you so
How are
much.
you? You're welcome.
Good,
Where
good.
are you?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
All right. Terrific. Did I say your name right?
Yep, Azure, like the color.
Azure. Azure or Azure? What is it?
Azure.
Azure. Okay. I must be psychic or something. That's how I said it first.
Yeah, that's
How may I
perfect.
help you?
So my mom, she transitioned this past weekend, 5 years
Oh,
stroke. So it's been a
oh,
while, and I've been caretaking for her.
God bless
And
you.
I have your book, and it brought me a lot of solace and comfort. So I really appreciate that.
Good.
So I was just wondering if you could do like an instant replay or see if there's anything that was going on. My dad is still grieving, and they're of Buddhist faith, so he's wanting her to get off the law, of the wheel of karma and re-embodiment. So I wonder if that was different from what was going on.
Yeah. All right. So what's your mom's name?
Melody.
Melody. All right. What I'm going to do, so you want me to do an instant replay or you want to just talk to her?
Whichever you think is the
That's whatever
best.
you want, honey. I'm here. Whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm free, but
Let's
I'm
just
not
talk.
cheap. I mean, really. So,
Let's
okay.
just talk.
All right. All right. So, like you heard me say earlier, it's like priming a pump at a water well. You got to pump it a few times first. She passed last weekend, you said?
This past Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Melody. All right. She's right next to you. She's on your right. They always come in on the right. She's kind of looking like a little Tinkerbellish though. She's kind of flitting above your shoulder and then she lands and then she flits a little bit more. She kind of goes airborne. I don't see wings, but she's having fun with the weightlessness. You see when you're in Houston, you know how you see the astronauts when they're preparing to go in space and they're in the anti-gravity chambers and they're having a ball because they're doing flips and moving up and down and stuff effortlessly. That's what she reminds me of. So she's doing that. So she's saying she doesn't have anything to get off of, like what you mentioned your dad's worried about. She's saying, yeah, that's just it's not real. She's saying she's in heaven. It's glorious. I call it heaven, non-physical. You can call it pure spirit. Uh, she's saying that everything unfolded perfectly. They usually say that, even if it seems horrific to us when we're going through it. She's saying you are an angel of mercy, her exact words. And you did a superb job, her exact words, of taking care of her. She's saying you made her transition much easier than it could have been. Did you do something special Did you have hospice involved?
Yeah, I gave her morphine, and my family was really against it. They kept
Okay,
wanting. They said I was accelerating her death. It was a big
you're not.
argument.
No, you did it perfectly, and she's saying you are an angel of mercy, and she thanks you for that. Yeah. She said, "Great job following your gut and following your instincts," and she's so grateful that you helped her in that way. Let your family watch this video, if they'd be willing to, but give them my book too.
Yeah.
So there's that. Did you have other stuff you wanted to know from her?
Was there any messages she had for any of the family or anyone she wanted that I could relay it to?
She loves them all. She's saying that she this is cute. She's saying she had a cute sense of humor, didn't she? She's
Yeah,
saying
she was pretty
sh
spunky.
she says, "I have a bunch of special powers now, and I can help you." And so she's saying, "Ask for her help." Because she's saying spirits can't interfere. We can put ideas in your head, but we can't interfere unless you ask for our help. So if there's something that you need help with, she's saying, I can use my special powers to help you. How sweet is
Oh,
that? So she wants you to go live your life. She's saying that you dedicated enough time of your life to taking care of her. And she wants you to follow your dreams and go do what it is that that you've put on the back burner so you could take care of her. She's saying, "You can be sure I'm gonna take care of you from heaven." So she's saying, ask her for help again in things. She's saying anything you wanna know, you just ask her, and she's saying she has access to universal intelligence, as all spirits do, and she will, put the downloads into your head. This is cute. She put oh gosh, what can I compare this to? It was like a plastic. Have you ever seen a pharmacist filling a prescription with pills and they've got like a plastic, it's almost looks like a slide that's curved up a little on the sides and the pills can go into the bottle easily. She's saying that she's gonna put the ideas into your head when you ask for them. And she showed me this, like, slide thing that the ideas are just gonna go down the slide and go right into your
kinda like a
head.
funnel.
Nah, not a funnel, more like if you had a straw and you sliced it vertically in half, so the edges were still curled up on the sides.
Got it, got it.
So she showed me that, but wider than a straw. So she's saying that. She's saying, all right, so is there a girl you're interested in? She's talking about your love life. Is there somebody you're interested in or
At
somebody in your
one
life?
point I was, yeah. Yeah, she's
Okay,
in, you know,
okay, there's somebody coming. There's somebody coming.
for
Yeah,
me.
for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
yeah, 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 so get ready. She's saying they're pre-approved. Meaning pre-approved by mom in heaven. So, yeah.
Match made in
Schedule
heaven.
schedule an appointment with me or with one of my
Yeah,
graduates, and we can talk to her for an hour and get all kinds of information from her.
awesome,
And that'll be a
awesome. Thank you so
blast.
much. Thank
So,
you.
yeah, I hope that information brings you some joy in such a tough time for you
Yeah,
all. But the big thing that I heard out of all of that was thank you for helping her with the morphine. And thank you for following your intuition and your gut and helping her not be in pain as she was transitioning. So, kudos to you, sir.
thank you. Thank you so much,
You're
Juliana.
welcome. You bet. Thanks for joining us. How sweet is that? I hear that more often than not, that some people believe that morphine or other medication at the end of life is gonna speed their departure, and that's really a fallacy, and anybody that's worked in any of the critical care areas like ICU, CCU, ER, that kinda stuff, and also hospice personnel, hospice medical providers, we'll all tell you that it helps the patient relax and it helps them pass easier. They don't have to struggle as much. Furthermore, all spirits decide, we all decide when we go, where we go, how we go, who's with us or not when we go. We think we have control over that. We do not, ever. You think about if somebody gets shot, doesn't mean they're going to die. Lots of people get shot, but they don't die. It's the person who dies from being shot, their spirit decides to exit in that manner. So always keep that in mind, that the body knows how to be born and the body knows how to die. And the spirit is always in total control of that as well. So it's natural for us in the grieving process to think the what ifs, like we talked about earlier. What if I would have done something differently? What if we would have gotten her in the hospital sooner? What if, what if, what if? And really, it's always the person who's passed, it's their spirit's prerogative how they go. So keep that in mind when you're enjoying somebody's last days on earth and helping them pass and taking care of them, because it is truly a labor of love and they all appreciate it. All right. On that happy note, I am going to send you lots of love from Sweet Home, Alabama. Mwah! Have a great weekend, everybody. See you back here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific, every Thursday night. Call in, ask your question, join us. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. To enhance your spiritual journey, click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe, leave a comment, and share with your family and friends.